Yes, another Kingdom City Stronghold Castle Builder Simulator with farming, mining, supplies, and a great expanse of building your empire in Homewind. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back. A pleasure to see you here back on the channel for even more videos. Thanks again for smashing like and subscribe and just hanging out and becoming members, too. Appreciate your support as the channel continues to rocket towards 2, 3, 4, 5 million subs, maybe one day. But for now, let's chill out and play some Homewind. Now, this game is available right now on Steam if you'd like to give it a try. And also, if you're a big fan of more peaceful city builders, like, for example, Townscaper, or maybe some of the other games that we played in the channel. I think one of them was Townsman. It really reminds me of that. This style is kind of like a Flash game that you may have remembered from internet days of yore, but it plays much differently. It's more like Dwarf Romantic. Yeah, I was almost going to say Dwarfheim, but that's not it. Dwarf Romantic, which is a wonderful little puzzle game with building villages, laying out farm fields, and doing things for points. Well, this is kind of the same thing, except it has you lay out things logically. For example, more about convenience for the people who live in the city. For example, people who are in the village would like to live close to the castle, so that way if there were raiders or whatnot, they could seek shelter within the castle walls. But also, they don't want to live too far from their jobs as hunters, loggers, and farmers. So you want to make sure your city's kind of laid out in a way that you find to be most appeasing, and also, of course, that people find pleasing. Well, there's only one way to go about it. There's a prosperity mode. I'm level 3 now. I completed the first 3 levels or so. And there's also an endless sandbox mode, too, where you can build in a settlement, a region, or a continent. So basically a massive map, 120 by 120, all the way down to just a little tiny village if you'd like to. We're going to go ahead and do the prosperity mode, though, which is handcrafted by the developer, who's done a fantastic job of offering over, what is this, 99 missions or so, 80, 99, 100. And you can see all the different types of monuments and things that you can build, everything from marketplaces or what looks to possibly be maybe a blacksmith shop associated with that, ruins and tombs and former works of wonder, large castles, and different types of domes, mining structures, and more. This is just kind of a layout to show you what it's like as you build your city. Actually, kind of interesting. If you pay attention here, it looks like a bunch of villages on the outskirts of town. And then as you get closer and closer towards the city, that's when you see all the massive buildings, manors, and strongholds, that type of thing. All really cool. Kind of reminds me of like Heroes of Might and Magic or something like that, at least in its appearance, but it plays nothing like it. So let's start with a simple 8x8 map, and hopefully the tutorial will pop up. Otherwise, I'll explain what's going on. So as we look here on the map, there's all sorts of different points of interest, which kind of work as they would in Age of Empires, or rather, Civilization. That's a much better way to associate that. Other words, if you build your city next to a, let's say, a volcano over here, the bonus is going to be placing a mine nearby. We'll give it a bonus because there's just going to be much more rare earth elements, things like sulfur and maybe coal and iron will be more plentiful, obviously near the mountains, but also obviously near a volcano. Additionally, there's also large structures like wonders, which again makes anything living nearby better. Now, if we lay down our keep, it's almost like it is in Stronghold, where we can lay down a kingdom keep anywhere we want to, except for in areas where there's like rolling hills or rough terrain. So you can kind of see it as we move around a little bit. Kind of cool. Now, another great thing about this game is it's absolutely free. And from what I can tell, that the developer is making this game free because they're so they believe that their game is so fun that people will want to eventually pay them for it. It's kind of a, hey, maybe download it for free, and if you like it, go ahead and tip them on Steam, except you're actually buying the game. So that might be the only way that they profit from that. I was trying to see if there's anything different between the game modes. I did not see anything, but there you go. Anyway, the game also has some music, which they recommend to turn off for streaming or whatnot, so it's a copyrighted soundtrack. So if you're a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer or whatnot, drop by the channel and see what's up so you can play yourself. But just remember, as a friendly reminder, turn off that music. All right, well, anyway, we can select things from packs here. So we just need to continuously build the city bigger and bigger. And as you can see, there's much more bonuses by building things directly next to the city. Here we'd get 22, but we're blocked, of course, by this small little area there. But we don't have to build this way. We don't have to if we don't want to. We will need to get to 30 to unlock new items, so there's kind of a little bit of restriction, like it is a little bit of a puzzle. We do need to make sure that we build within areas, but here with the plus 15, we should be fine. So you'll be stun locked, or I think it's GG if you don't reach that, but there could be some unforgiving fail safes. Now we can start building some farmlands, so if we build the farmland somewhere flat, but near towns, it has a much bigger benefit, of course, because, well, 1, there's an area to store it, and 2, there's areas for people to work on it. So building down here would be mighty fine. We just need to remember that we need to also make sure we've got plenty of room for homes. So if we build the farm fields next to each other, they get a bonus. And if we build the farm fields next to the town, they get a bonus too. Let's go for the mine this time. Our final goal is to achieve 80. And before we select buildings, you can kind of see what they are. But it doesn't really say what the structure does. So if you're not sure exactly what farmland will do or what a mine will do, in the end, it's all about just getting points. So let's go ahead and pick now. Now you can actually see deer and horses and things running around on the landscape. Again, this kind of, it reminds me a little bit of Heroes of Might and Magic, for whatever reason, just the art style of the map. But again, it plays a little bit more like Civilization or Civ 6, whatnot, where you're building next to points of interest to get extra bonuses such as crystal ore, or, in this case, a volcano. So we'll have to go ahead and see which ones are beneficial to us. So building here next to the farmlands is a negative 50, but building next to the 2 crystal sites here is a plus 20, but building all the way down here is a plus 35 because we're building near the Wonder and also the volcano. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You place it wherever you want. You can always go for the min-maxing, but you can also make things as beautiful or as serene as you want to. The trailer for this game basically tells you to, hey, chill out and don't even worry about a thing. I guess if you're not chilling out, you're not having a good time in the developer's eyes. But again, it's your game, and you do as you like. I'll put the trailer up here too, so that way you can see it in all of its great glory. And that's really nice of the dev to do that, to offer a game for free for everybody, but to also allow for some purchases. So in this case, we lost, so there is a little bit of a fail. So that's kind of cool to see. Now, luckily, we got past this mission, but I just wanted to see for myself if you could actually fail. So there is a little bit of light puzzle element to it, but if you don't like that, go to Sandbox. So let's go to back to the Prosperity menu, and let's pretend that we completed that first mission. So I just wanted to confirm that, yes, you can pass or fail. It's not necessarily about a high score, but I guess you could also play that way because the score you get at the end of the match will be your final score that you can remember and see on the main board as you go back. Oh, we got some cows, which are walking on water. Holy cow. And we've also got some chickens, which will be delightful nuggets later on. Oh, it's got an achievement called Kitchen Catcher. I don't know why. There's a lot of Steam achievements here. They're not popping up on the screen, but anyway. Ah, different style city center this time. Very nice. Let's go ahead and build our city center over here. Next to the Wonder. Seems like a perfect spot. Right about... Actually, let's build it over here. So that way our people are between a Wonder and the castle. Yeah. Let's build those homes a little bit more efficiently this time. So we build a small little... Oh, we get +1 if we build next to the animals as well. Interesting. Wow, so the animals even affected too? That's something I didn't know. Seems like the type of game where you're going to learn something every single time that you play. Well, we've already kicked butt so hardcore on this first placement that we already unlocked stuff. That's pretty good. Every time we place a home, we're doubling or quadrupling our score. Nothing's on a grid either. You can kind of freely place things if you'd like to. You can kind of scoot them over a little bit here and there, but for the most part, there you go. Oh, good. So we got like a tavern, a few homes. See if we can build a farm field. We'll build that down here by the ocean. Looks like it gets a bonus for being near water, which I would assume maybe would be better for rain or whatnot. Or possibly this is a giant lake. Who knows? It could be a fresh body of water. Let's go for the mine again. We've got a great opportunity down here for 2 volcanoes. And plus 55. Look at that. 55. Very nice. We'll place that over here. There we go. And then we'll try to build some homes next to that if we can. Okay, that is a negative, a debuff, if we place it near the mine. So nobody wants to live near the mine, but they do want to live near the farms. So we could give a plus 17 here, or plus 18 even, with all the different cows and horses and such running around. So it seems like at the time you place it, does this scare them away from that? Are there hidden tactics here? Not sure. Well, anyway, we'll go for the plus. We'll go for the plus 12 and continue to build. We're not too far off from our final goal anyway. All right, we can place a water platform, a lumberjack, and a house. Well, we have to go for the lumberjack and the platform. That just sounds really interesting. Whoa, okay. We can actually build a massive settlement out in the water. Oh, like a port. Oh, and plus 35 for that. Wow. Would you look at that? All right, lumberjack obviously going to be more beneficial near the woods. So maybe down here at a plus 26, 28. Now, of course, you can take your time to make sure you absolutely pinpoint and precisely place your precarious structures wherever you see fit. But for me, it's all about just kind of flopping things and making it look nice. Almost looks like a Hallmark card now. Let's go for another mine. but they might overlap and give a negative debuff. So let's go ahead and go with more lumber mills and such. We'll try to build some homes out here. Oh, only +0 though, so it's got to be more about what you place out on the platform. A few more homes. And 120 when we place this next one. All right, another placement. Let's go for another group of homes. Let's go with +3. Don't necessarily have to place everything, so this is just giving us more wiggle room. We could actually start building up here, too. No? Well, let's go over this way. All right. Yeah, you could definitely precisely time your placement so that way the animals are nearby and get a bigger bonus for it, but that's fine. Oh, a smaller field here. Wow, and a +39 for placing it. Wow, that cow turned into a farm field. Holy cow. All right, a lumber mill again. Is this different from the lumberjack? Ah, it's the same thing. Scores with nearby trees far from other lumberjacks or mines. And also a negative is placing it near farm fields. That gives us a +2. And yes, we have to be far from another mine there. Let's build our mine over here, though. There we go. And we could do a water platform. That builds another lumber mill for us. Wow, we get a +30 for building it there. That brings us to the 200. Farm warehouse, mines and homes, or wood warehouse, or a mineral warehouse. Let's go with the wood warehouse here. And that seems to be beneficial to the lumber mill down there. Massive storehouse for wood. Love the art style of everything. This is a great ramp up. This is just like Mission 2, so the first one is definitely Fisher Price, my first experience. But the second mission is definitely more about letting the game stretch its legs. Not exactly sure what the final objective is here for us, but I'm sure it is explained. Collect points to earn contracts and earn buildings. Reach the required value to beat the level. This could be maybe 200 in total is what we need to reach in the end. But I think that may be our total. So this is kind of working more like Dwarf Romantic, and I believe there's a German board game that is similar to this as well. I think there's a board game or some sort of tabletop game that simulates this. Anywhere we put this, oh, I see. We can put it anywhere outside the circle too, but the inside the circle gives us a buff. Okay. Oh, prior knowledge. Prior knowledge. There we go. We'll put it for. Oh, far from city center. Oh, really? Okay. So we do have to place it there. Well, anything else would be a massive debuff. We can get a +2, but I think that'll be GG. Invalid terrain. And a debuff to anything else we place near it. Well, let's take the L. There we go. Wow. Now, another thing I want to know from the menu screen then is how exactly do we get to the final levels? What do they look like? Can we actually skip these if there's one that we get stuck on? Let's go ahead and go to the very last level and see what it's like. Ah, so there's no requirement for prerequisites. You can work through the prior 100 levels and make massive settlements. This is kind of the same in sandbox mode too, although I hope we get to actually set up our own perimeters. So this will be the last level, complete with dry, arid regions, deserts, marshlands, swamps, dry land, and obviously frozen wastelands, perhaps, with plenty of ruins and stuff to build near, or in that case, wonders. Very nice. All right, now another thing I want to check out is let's jump over to the sandbox mode and take a look at what the largest map looks like. I'm sure it's the one that we just saw. But it does seem to be randomly generated, so it could definitely benefit from perhaps a slider for selecting different types of regions, a map editor, or perhaps just confirming that it's randomly generated every time by maybe selecting a few starting conditions. Like, for example, here, all the islands that are separated don't really benefit us too much. All these individual and separated islands. Archipelago there is not going to be really great for us to build on, but an area up here could be. So let's take a look at all the structures that are available in the game. We have a city center, which I think we can actually choose which type of city center we want, as they all look a little bit different. so we can get different lore and stuff for our city. We have city centers, houses, farmlands, inns, obviously lumberjacks. We have ourselves wood warehouses, mines, mineral warehouses. We have a well, a smith, tree decoration, farm warehouse, a market church, watchtower, and defensive walls. So we can actually build a city fortress if we want to. And, of course, bridges as well. So if we wanted to, now this is just sandbox, so we could do as we like. We could make like a giant bridge at the, what could be a port eventually. And it looks like right-click to change graphic. What that should say is rotate, but... Okay, so we can build a bridge that way or across horizontally. Very nice. And then, of course, anything living near it will probably get some sort of a benefit. So if we place a house near it, people might want to live near the home. Or have their home near the bridge, is what I mean to say. All right, well, right-clicking any of these buildings will right away change it. And there's no score then in sandbox mode, so we can kind of make our own... Damn, you can actually use this for perhaps D&D. You could make your own quest this way, or... you know, use it in other types of tabletop games to set up a map and then perhaps take a screenshot of it and print it out and then maybe zoom in on more of the city sections. That's really cool. Not to mention the beautiful birds that are all flying around like that. That is gorgeous. How amazing. That is nice. Really peaceful, really beautiful, for sure. Love seeing those structures, too. We could build a beautiful city, but what I'd like to do instead is go back and try another mission then. We'll play a little bit more seriously now. Now that we have gotten a few things under our wings, I guess, let's go ahead and build here. So now we're going to go for seriousness. So if you want to yell at me about doing something wrong, this is it. So timestamp it. Now you can be mad. But don't be mad. Download the game for yourself. You can play right now. There's nothing stopping you. Oh, look at the trees blowing in the wind. The water looks a little weird to me. It looks like a watercolor painting or something. I like it. Weird in a good way. All right, city center. Now we can right-click to change graphic, right? No. Can't do that this time. All right, well, we want to build the castle as centralized as possible, but near the woods so we can take advantage of lumberjacks and such when they come up. I love the sounds in the game, too. Things sound really nice. You can kind of hear people screaming a little bit in the background as they're probably selling goods and whatnot at the shops. All right, let's go with the 2 new buildings here. All right, now we will play strategically. I would like to build things over to this left side. Looks like we can build in the rolling hills a little bit. We'll do 2 buildings here. And we can really take advantage of that landscape, too. Could scoot a house over for one more point. That probably matters, but also the closer that I bring them to the castle, the more buildings we can fit in this area. All right, so it looks like a big benefit to stack those houses high. 2 farm fields. Big benefit for horses down here. Cattle and whatnot. Also near the minerals. Would give us a plus 23 if it were inside the city, probably because it's near the fields, or the city buildings. The fields near the village. But that'll give us a bonus later, so let's try to build here. Give me that plus 23 if we can. Ooh, 27. That's going straight out in front of the castle. I'm right-clicking as well to see if I can rotate fields, but it looks like for the most part, these are all random. And this is another thing, too, is that it is probably set that we'll receive one of several different types of building packs. So the RNG of this game is maybe you need more homes, but you get kind of, I don't know, shafted for lumber mills and farming, that type of thing. So you might not always get houses. It seems pretty common, but that's something to consider here. Speaking of mills, or at least resource buildings, we now have ourselves a mine. Putting these things really close together really matters. And look at that. From one moment, we can go from 40-something down to 22. Oh, look at that. Losing a score every second based on whatever might be in that area. Interesting to see. All right, well, we have some mines up here. Looks like this is a good spot to put it down here. Plus 40. We'll go with that. All right, some shoreline building or some more farm fields. Looks like we also need a lumber mill there, so let's take that. We'll take farm fields and add to farm fields. So a lot of this is really having a lot of foresight. Hindsight's really not going to help you. Thinking about trying to do something different in the past, well, you can't really delete or move a building, so it doesn't really matter to regret a decision later. It's once you make it, and that's it. So, like, for example, here, if we place that 55, that's it. So we can't regret placing that later. We just got to go with it. Let's go for another 3 homes. Build a lumber mill on the far skirts of town. There's a 56, 60 right there. Try to go for the 60. Perfect. And we also have a... Oh, another one. Wait, this is a lumber mill. And this is 2. The styles are just different. Okay. And another 62. Beautiful. Well, level completed. All right, so that time around, we definitely did what we needed to do. So it seems like every time that we play, we're needing to get to a different level each time. Unless it's unlocked level 4 or if it was the first deck of cards. I wasn't really paying attention, but we can now either continue the level until we fail for a high score or just for pretty points, or we can go on to the next level then. And then continue to go on and on and on. Or we can also just go back to the main menu and skip all this and do it again. I like these little cozy initial setups. In fact, I feel like these are much more challenging, especially at the start, because space is so limited. We have a massive mountain in front of us, so... And for whatever reason, this does remind me of Townscaper, too, because those games you're really meant to just chill out, and the developers really don't want you to do much thinking, although this is very minor math or whatnot, so good for anybody. Especially when I'm recording or doing live streams, my mathematics skills, I always have difficulty remembering numbers and things like that, like 8 times 4. I'd actually have to think about it for a minute and buy time by thinking, like, okay, in my mind, 8 and 8 is 16, and then 32, that kind of thing. But it takes me extra time. So if I was playing more chill, you know, and just like turning my mind off, as this should do, be a great way to relax. But this is a really fun city builder so far in terms of just building buildings that are gorgeous, or at least setups, but really wanting to then build the gigantic city walls and stuff. So that's definitely something we'll see. And I'll be sure to show that off. Make sure you, if you've skipped to this point of the video, whoa, hold up there, Chief. Jump on back to the start and go watch that trailer for this one, because you're really missing out on some cool features. Yes, I'm talking to you. There's no shame in it, but, you know, jump on back and see what you may have missed there and get the whole of this game. Whatever it may be. Title was at the start of the video. Oh, got him. All right, let's keep building some buildings here. I'm just kidding. We're having a good time. 2 new farm fields. I wonder if farm fields benefit differently based on where you put them for warmth. No. So it seems like we can build a farm field in the snow, but what looks to be a more warmer marsh doesn't really seem to benefit it too much. All right, let's build north. And another 2843. You're not going to be able to take advantage of all those buildings, but I'll take the L with 27. A few less points. Every time it'll matter. But I'm trying to save more room for homes, because these are going to score greatly if we put these up here, like, for example, at 23. And it'll benefit the other homes when we go to place more fields. Plus 23. Plus 40. Wow, plus 48. Plus 51. Plus 47. We'll wait for a few more animals to come over here, and then maybe we can get a bonus. Looks like we lose by 1, so... 53. We gained it. Very nice. Let's go with another farm field and a logging camp. Now, if this is similar to any other games, there are many like this one that people always remind me about. And in the comments section, if you scroll down there, people will just be like, oh, yeah, this reminds me of such and such. And a lot of people will be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And everybody remembers a game that, well, nobody remembers until the first person brings it up. We've all forgotten until that time. So... if you remember any building game that this is similar to, or board game, let me know down below. I'm really curious to know. I love it when developers... I feel like we are past the age now where games are wholly and solely original. In fact, I'd say that the first PC games that were city builders were kind of, in a way, almost board games as well, giving you score and points based on, well, in terms of, like, tax income and happiness or whatnot. But, of course, much more complicated than that. Oh, yeah, we're kicking butt now. Now it's only level 5, but, you know, it is what it is. Very cool. All right, let's jump back to the main menu here. All right, good. So I think the developer is asking a couple bucks for this game as a, hey, if you want to support Homewind, go right ahead. And I've been hearing some rumblings in my community about this. They were really interested in seeing all the different types of buildings that you can get. A lot of people into the art style. But this one's kind of more of a, hey, cozy, chill, grab a beverage of choice, cuddle up, and lay in front of the fire and just kind of, you know, hang out and really just turn your brain off for Homewind, which is satisfying, and a loss doesn't even feel like a loss, an opportunity to go for prosperity again. And, yeah, I love all the little, the great detail here. I love the little extra, you know, things like, for example, the wonders hanging over the edge of each of these little title cards and how differently the structures look. And I'm glad it's not really a military-style game. However, I'd love to see more for trade or something like that, maybe a future DLC. Now, hold on. I just spotted that free levels are up here. Premium levels. Okay. So they want you to pay for some extra premium levels, which, let's see if I've done. What? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I just downloaded this for free because I had no idea that it was actually free because, well, I didn't see the price until later. I thought it was a demo, but it is a full game. Very amazing. Well, they want you to write a feedback report or, I guess, a review on Steam for them. Check out their community page and play the prosperity levels. I'm not even going to play premium. That's not for me. I'm going to buy it if I go onto those. That's just fair. So let's see, 50 premium levels, which are probably much more challenging. I guess you get to check them out before you buy them, maybe, if that's what you want to do. Yep, indeed. Cool. So 50 additional buildings to build once you go for premium. All right, guys, that is it for today's episode. I just wanted to give a little bit of love to an indie city builder. You never know what these developers will go on to next. And if we don't support indie devs and smaller teams, we'll end up with more Gran Turismo 7s, games as a service, pay a monthly fee. You're locked into this thing. No escape from EA and Comcast teaming up to bring an online live service. I hate to say those words, and I'm sure you've gotten goosebumps from that. Let's bring that negativity out here. Let's get those negative waves out and praise Homewind. What a neat little game. And I really appreciate these types of games with all sorts of beautiful art style. And I hope to see more. Many other city builders such as this coming to the channel. Thanks again, everybody, for supporting, showing some positivities. Yes, all the positivities. And I'll see you all next time. Have a fantastic week. And if things aren't going great for you, I hope this video made things a little bit better. And if they're going wonderfully, then awesome. More power to you. I'll see you guys next time. Truly, have a great week and a great rest of your day. Thanks for dropping by.